Everybody, thank you for tuning in. After working with somebody this morning, this particular idea for video came up. For those of you who are feeling cooped in, having that feeling like I've got no space, I've got roommates, I've got pets, I've got kids, I've got a partner who's just freaking out. Whatever's going on, this is literally for you to feel like you have some space around you, even if maybe physically you don't actually. So this particular simple technique relates to 5-element theory from the yogic tradition. So most people are familiar with fire, air, earth, and water, but may not be as familiar with the element of ether or space, which is basically the container where all the elements come to play and do their thing. But if you imagine that this container is way too big, it's like stars in the sky. It's like really difficult for all those components of us to come together and do what they need to do. This is like when we feel spacey, right? And it's really hard to like concentrate and get anything done. And conversely, when the container is too compacted, the elements are all jammed together and they're having a hard time doing their self-expression. So it's really difficult if we don't have this container in balance. So energetically, this is associated with the throat center. So if we are experiencing issues with a lack of balance in the space, we can start to have physical symptoms may start to arise. Again, a lot of this energy work is about getting things before the physical starts to show itself. But what may happen, you may notice that you're having issues with migraines or headaches. They can be connected. Issues with your hearing, with your jaw, with your throat. And then on an emotional level, issues with being able to speak your truth, being able to listen, which is also connected with the throat, and a lot of people don't understand. Why does that person talk all the time? Well, it's usually issues with their throat, obviously. So basically, what I'm going to share today is a mudra that brings this area into balance. So if you're a person who's experiencing the spaciness, great. If you're not great, but will help. And if you're experiencing the containment, this will bring it into balance. So whatever side of the pendulum you're on, this mudra is okay to use for a prolonged amount of time. Some mudras are very different. Some of them, when you use them, they can increase in energy or decrease in energy. So it's important to know what you're using them for and why. Example, Gyan Mudra, which is the one you see in yoga a lot. Super fantastic if you're a person who lives in an ashram and doesn't really care about earthly duties. You could do this all day long and the energy from the root is going to come up and really make the crown big. But if you're a person who's experiencing financial issues, who has body issues, who's afraid that when they walk into a room they don't belong, all these kind of like earthy root things, they have a hard time with their connection with home or with family, this isn't the greatest mudra to do because it really sucks away that earth energy that is really crucial and that you may need. So again, just important to know. So the Akash Mudra is super simple and you can practice this anytime. I make this for people who meditate or not. So you could do this when you're watching Netflix. Ideally not, but hey, it's a good place to start. Or you're having a bath, or you're just about to fall asleep. Take your longest finger, which is connected with the element of space or Akash. Connect it with your thumb. Bring them lightly together. And you can do this with both hands. And then you can just place your hands on your lap, just with the palms facing up if you like, or down, doesn't really matter. Up is a little bit more receiving of energy. But also when you do it with the hands facing down, it's a little more containing. So it's almost like if you're feeling a little bit like you want to hide away from the world a little bit, having them down is what I do. When I feel a little bit more open and giving to the world, I have lots of energy, I turn them up. So then I just practice this for as long as I need to. And I close my eyes. And the more that you're relaxed and just breathing slowly, it really helps this energy to start to affect the center here. Usually I'll give my attention here and just focus on whatever side of the pendulum I'm on. If it's spaciousness, I'm very spacious. I'm feeling very open, you know. I'm imagining all my elements like spreading outwards and giving me space, you know, and I do this for 5-10 minutes. That's what these things are here for. That's what these practices are here for, so that when we hit these super hard times, you know, we've got something to take care of ourselves so that our mental health stays in check, so we can be there for our partners, we can be there for our children, we can be there for our little pets and loved ones that need us, you know, or our friends that call. Really important, you know. So Last little thing, as I said, with the other physical stuff that can happen or you can heal with working with the throat. On a side note, working with the parathyroid, it actually also helps with calcium production. So it's great for your bones if you have osteoporosis. It also helps the kidneys to stop releasing so much calcium, and it actually helps with vitamin D production in the kidneys as well. It also helps with the intestines to absorb calcium based on how the vitamin D is metabolized when these are working properly. So if you've got issues with the parathyroid, just doing this mudra can help bring things back into balance as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. And if you like the content that you're seeing, click subscribe below.